a lot of the discussions we had about being able to make decisions under pressure without all the information, behavioral aspects of it. I mean, that quote at the end was absolutely fantastic about, pressure actually reveals culture, okay, as well. So a lot of discussions there. If you are on the line later, fantastic. We'll get some questions. Otherwise, we'll share the details for you. So moving on, moving on one more time. I have to say this. I've been asked to say this by the staff. Please pay your bills, guys. So, all right. Important. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to invite some of our panelists up onto, I guess, the stage here with me. Yeah. And we're going to have a little bit of a panel discussion and really just cross-sector with a couple of questions, just talking about what risk management or strategic risk management means for them. So first of all, I'd like to invite up here our Vice Chair, Andrei Lukashenko. Okay, round of applause. Great, yeah. And next, Natalia Habraska, who is part of our Women in Security team. The newest member of the team. Thank you. Okay, we don't have Irina here with us tonight, no? I think she couldn't make it, she had a meeting. Okay, but online, we will have Dr. Ruston Makashvili. Are you there, Ruston? Yeah.
Nice to meet everyone.
Fantastic, okay. So I'm going to start, guys, just literally by handing over you just a very, very quick, I know you've already done it, just a very, very quick introduction of yourself.
Yeah. Okay. Again, my name is Andrei Lukashenko. I am the founder and director of a company called the Smart Crew Solution. My general background is military, so I retired as a major and worked for the variety of organizations. The last organization is OSCE, so and I have a background of the security, working for the non-government control territories and so on. And for me, all those topics really relative because from when the mission ran away, we opened the security company and running of the security and risk and strategic risk and resilience. For us, it's not just words, it's our daily routine and we working with that. And for us, it's not just important, it's our daily breathing and just simple example for that. Here's my partners, my co-workers, and they can confirm we're working on the combat line. We bring the media, we bring the NGOs, and for us, resilience, it's a share of information. So biggest of the gap, it's information because we cannot get it from the open sources. Law enforcement not share it, even they give the permission for the NGOs and the media go to the combat line for the separation line. And for us, it's an issue. And for us, it's a big issue because we cannot get the confirmed information and share with our clients. And, after that, it looks not really good if you share some information what's not really true. And for that, it's really life-changing situation because it's people dying at war. Second gap, it's a trust. As you understand, in Ukraine, it's always a big spot of the information. We have a secret service, we have KUR, we have a National Guard, we have a variety of the law enforcement sections which bring something on the table. They share it, they not share it, they don't want to share it. And for us as a private security, it's an issue because we cannot trust the people and we cannot share the information. Because for us, for me personally, I have only my name and my reputation. I don't have something behind me which standing and knocking the door. It's everything what we have, and for us it's critical because it's our resilience, it's resilience of our company, it's resilience of our clients, and for us it's very important. And another issue, and probably all people in this room will be agree with me, it's an issue and gap of the language. We speak English. Yes, I really appreciate what I'm not native speaker, but I try to do my very best to just keep up with the native speakers to speak English. And for Ukraine, it's still big gap because you see, not even all the waiters in this restaurant speak perfectly English and get you information and ready to pay your bill. And you see, this is a misconnections. And for us, brings the language, brings the same language what people can share and communicate. And this is the issue because I tell you a story right now. Last 3 weeks of the May, I was provide the training for the kids in Sumy and Kharkiv region. I provide the security training, I provide the traffic rules and regulations, and there, of course, it's hard to teach the kids first, third grade of the traffic rules when they never saw the street lights. You see, because it's no street lights in certain areas at all. But it's the same situation with the English. All of them have cell phones. They all know how to play the certain games, but they not speak English, and they're not even looking. Nobody motivates them. So you understand, those people from the 500 kilometers from Kyiv, not speaking English, and they probably never will be speaking English. For us, it's a critical because, again, Ukraine tried to integrate in Europe, try to be the worldwide known country, not only breadbasket and some guys play the piano by his penis. We try to be the normal country with the normal ideas and security professional, because for us, it's already meaning something. Here's the guys who's from the front line. Here's the guys who's never been in the front line, but they kill more people than even the people on the front line pushing the weapons. So that's why English for us is a critical, and everything what you can do. And our chapter, actually, one of the goals was to share the English language and develop and variety of things with the young professionals, with the old professionals, with any professionals which looking for the development. And for us, it's again our resilience. I'm not talking as a security professional because I've been in surrounded Irpin with my family, and believe me, when the city is surrounded and I have OSCE fleece on me, I understand it's a target right over here or over there. And I'm not the fighter, even I have a weapons and anything, because when you're surrounded, it's anything what your resilience, it's your system, people who you know and who you connect with. And it's work. I have a 16th successful evacuation, even I've been in surrounded city, but I evacuate people from all around Ukraine because I have connections, I have people, I know how to do it. And you see, this is a small thing because a lot of good security professionals in Ukraine, but they not speak English. And this is a problem because, it's not junior brothers. We already have some senior brothers from the north, and this doesn't work any longer. We know we are professionals, we know our ground, and we will stand on this ground. And we really appreciate you supporting us, and you not only teaching us, you already partners with us. And partnering, it's make a big difference because together, I believe we will achieve more. And again, I hope I will see my grandchildren. I really do. And I will tell them who's our friends and who's are not. And this is, again, important because here's the people who is not just like brothers, sisters, fathers, it's people who grow in the next generations. And for us, growing the next generation of the security people, it's also important. Thank you.
Thanks, Andrei. Nice short introduction. So, excellent. Natalia, please just introduce yourself. Yeah.
So hi, everybody. I'll try to be a little bit more brief than that. So my name is Natalia. Some of you know me already. I am working at INSA right now. I'm a training officer. And regarding the security risk assessments and for security risk management, I have experience all throughout different sectors, a military sector, private security sector, working in different countries, working in different contexts, either Europe, Middle East, Ukraine, either also America and Canada. However, now I'm in the humanitarian sector. I worked with humanitarians for quite a lot of years, and right now I am part of this humanitarian sector. And I really want to say thank you for everybody who's coming in here. I know we're all from different sectors, from different organizations, from different companies and different structures. And I know how difficult it might be for all of us to come to one common sense. We all have different approaches. We all have different ways to get to the security risk management and other things. So I just so glad that we're all here together. And I just really hope that this Ukrainian chapter is going to be something that we can work with for a long time after that. Thank you.
Thanks, Natalia. And Rustan, if you can come online, are you there?
Yeah, sure. Thank you. I will try to be even more concise. Hi, everyone. I'm Professor Rustan. That's all you need to remember.
Hold on, Rustan, we can't hear you at the moment.
I will not I will not list my academic regalia. I am a professional and career academic and career scholar. My background is in language, linguistic processing, AI for education, AI for natural language processing, training large language models, and all that wonderful things. But with the international and global and Europe-wide institutions like the European Commission and UNESCO, I'm working on risk management in digital education, in digital skills development, in interoperability of skills. I've been researching interoperable skills that help facilitate digital education, help advance digital education ever since COVID. And of course, we are keep collecting data and modeling all through the warfare and now overarching all around Europe, because those risks are spanning, and that is something that is right now published in UNESCO. And we'll just it's a shameless self thing, but just to be more concise, I would happily refer anyone who's interested to my recent talk about universities under pressure. That's essentially my coup de grace on risk management in academia and education that was delivered in Berlin 2 weeks ago. Julia, was it 2 weeks ago? Julia Stoltomna is here. That's my longtime scholastic collaborator and PhD graduate. Essentially, academia brings to the table the theoretical frameworks, the data first approach, and the access to what we are doing this all for, all this wonderful and extensive and sophisticated risk management for our youth. Thank you.
Thanks, Rustin. Okay, I'm going to got some questions here, and just bringing up points that Andrei mentioned as well. Is apologies to the guys online as well, and I think as we get better at this, okay, we'll start having some simultaneous translation in the room as well as online as well, because I also think it's important that we can actually use the native language as well, because that's really important. But I got a question here, and I'm going to ask each of the panelists the same question to start with, and maybe start with Ruslan. Okay, strategic risk management means different things depending on where you are and where you work. So from your professional perspective, what does it actually mean? We'll start with Ruslan.
Yeah, thank you so much. And I'm so very happy that for the opportunity to open the floor for this question, specifically because in my opinion, and it is informed and corroborated by long time processing of data and researching. For education, specifically for research and education, it is probably the one societal sphere where risk management has the most multifaceted and most versatile definition possible, because risk management is integrated, inbuilt into all the benchmarks, but the education as a system, as a process, and as a result it's a part of achieving learning outcomes and outputs. It's a part of instructional design. It's a part of curriculum design. It's a part of quality assurance. My fellow colleagues from the National Quality Assurance Agency are in the room right now with you over there in Kyiv. They would corroborate that National Quality Assurance System has been lauded as one of the most risk resilient in Europe so far. The pipelines, the processes, and everything. But it's also the benchmarking of mitigating the educational losses. At the end of the day, there is only so much you can sacrifice to risks, to calamity, to altered educational formats, to altered educational materials, to altered access, because at the end of the day, you need to award the degree, and that degree needs to be actionable. It needs to actually mean something. There is only so much that the Ukrainian educational system can sacrifice to risk, just to the buffer of risk management without actually managing and mitigating the risks. Because at the end of the day, the Ukrainian educational system is a part of the global educational system. It is subject to the same system of ranking. It is subject to the same system of competition. You snooze, you lose. So we need to accommodate risk management into everything that the education is. But that is tactics. That is a case-to-case basis. That is the operational side of it. Strategically, Ukrainian education is about educating and bringing up a new generation of people who are inoculated against the propaganda, who are inoculated against the Soviet nostalgia, who are inoculated against the far left or far right ideologies. And all of that needs to be achieved through strategic approaches to risk management, because all of that is interoperable with what technology is. That's technological bias. That's the way the large language models are trained. All of that is mitigated through what global polarization is, or through what geopolitical challenges are. All those are listed as global trends all the way up to 2045, and all of that needs to be accommodated and kind of, leveled out by the educational system. If we lose that battle, no advances on the battlefield are, well, the advances on the battlefield are meaningless. Thank you.
Thank you. Mike, give a second. From the academic side of things, some really good insights then. Natalia, you've been across multiple sectors actually. So what does it mean for you from a professional opinion, strategic risk management? What does that actually mean for you?
So if we're talking about humanitarian sector, I would say that that is actually one of the most complex security risk management environments out of all three that we mentioned: the military, private security, and humanitarian sector. Just because in military and in private security, we can be a little bit more direct, we can have a little bit more like heads-on approach. But in humanitarian security, there's a lot of things that we can't do, and we are actually obliged by a lot of things. For example, the mandate of our NGO, our internal rules, the rules of the country that we're in, and obviously the humanitarian principles and then IHL, the international humanitarian law. So talking about risk management, about risk assessments, about working in this diverse, I would say, environment, humanitarian risk management is actually one of the hardest one to get into, because you can't really use a lot of complex things that we have in military and private sector. So for me, I would say that this is more about network, about communication, about talking to people, because some of the things that you can't really get, you can't really use, you get it from connections. You have it from network, you can get it from talking to other people, building communication, and just a dialogue with different NGOs and other organizations that work in that sector. So talking about risk management in humanitarian sector specifically, it's all about community. It's all about communication. It's all about how you work with different people, how you manage all of those smaller problems. And you have to be sly. You have to be cunning in that demeanor. You have to think about the ways that you can achieve your goal, which is risk assessment and security of your staff and your beneficiaries and your program at all, which is quite hard. So I would say communication is key in security risk management in humanitarian sector, and it is one of the hardest things that we have at this moment, because once again, we're binded by a lot of rules, by a lot of smaller things, compliance, a lot of mandates, SOPs, and other things. And we need a lot of different approaches in that demeanor. We have to have a lot of different people, a lot of different professionals with different background. And once again, we have a lot of professionals coming from law enforcement and military, as I think you know, who have different experiences, and they can actually use those experiences towards building risk management solutions into humanitarian sector, which once again might be a little bit difficult. It might be hard to explain to people why we can do some certain things, why we can't do some certain things. But once again, it's all about community, all about trust, all about talking to people, and all about network. So that's my answer.
Yeah, thanks, Natalia. And that's great. And it's great listening to different perspectives of what people think around what is strategic risk management again. And again, I think also it's a skill. I think Marcus talked about different skills, behavioral skills, culture, and all the things we can bring into it. Yes, there's a lot of constraints within risk management, but again, it's also skills that are built over time through exposure. And I think this is one of the things we're trying to do here within the chapter here, is trying to increase that exposure of strategic risk management across the board, to try and raise and professionalize the levels of and the risk community, I guess, across the board. So maybe from your perspective, Andrei, maybe you can give us your perspective from a private security sector.
From private security, it's even the more nightmare, because in the humanitarian area, you more or less you have certain rules and regulations, and you understand the Ukrainian nightmare. It's a legislation, right? So we don't have a law about the weapons, and especially the security without weapons or any kind of weapons. We don't have as such. We have only instructions in the Ministry of Interior. So it's already nonsense, right? So we're already talking about something high sky. And another situation, for example, we're working with humanitarian. I'm running a lot of the HIT courses for humanitarian missions. And for me, it's a nightmare because, some of them use protocol March, some of them use ABCD, and who based on what and why their security guide make a decision to use this protocol, because it's no direct guide on which protocol should be engaged. And it's basically tomato, but it's in general, it's a protocol and it's in their SOP. So it's again, back to the legislation. And again, in Ukraine, you can do whatever you want to do, right? So it's another open field and the wild west. Another question which really hits the currently security, private security side, it's HR, because as you know, all the security companies supposed to be provide certain amount of their personnel to the mobilization, and we try to keep all people who come back from the force with the mobilization. But you understand, I have a liability insurance, and probably my clients don't want to have people who have a PTSD, and it's not direct treatment for them, not direct not government provides the support to their wounded veterans, not anybody. All this is a private entities who try to help. They working hard, but again, it's a lot of side of the corruption. This is a greasy side of the house. That's why in private security, we have a lot of issues. We're working on them. We're working with them with our counterparts. We're working with them with the government agency. We're working with the law enforcement, because we try to open things and try to give them standard procedures which whole world using. But it's for current situation, it's quite difficult. It's difficult, but we continue to do everything what possible and impossible. And in Ukraine, my foreign colleagues, we probably agreed, like in Ukraine, everything possible, to change the prime minister with 1 day or do something. So that's why we are all here, and we hope for the better to change the situation and change our approach of the strategic risk management in Ukraine and put everything in the writing, in the law, in the procedures, and make it more organized and civilized. Thank you.
Thanks a lot. Yeah. I'm just going to go back to Rusudin now very quickly, and just maybe one lesson that your sector, the academic sector, can learn from other sectors.
Oh, absolutely. Agility. Education has been extremely resilient as a system, and it is, like I said, it is corroborated by that. Well, we are still here, universities are still here, everything works. But agility as education as a system is also highly regulated. It's subject to a very specific set of norms, and where ad hoc within the purview of the autonomy of universities or higher educational institutions, the risk management solutions could be incorporated into the institutional policy. High schools don't have that agility. Kindergartens don't have that agility. Vocational schools don't have that agility. The system as a whole, on the level of the ministry, of the governing body, tries to accommodate the risks, but those risks move faster and they change and they transform faster. The solutions to accommodate them and to manage them transform faster. The technology transforms faster. So yes, corporate agility and overall the corporate approach to management and project management, to system management, that is something that I would really want to see more of, accommodated and absorbed by the educational system.
Fantastic. More agility across the sector. Andrei, one more question. Sorry. Has the war fundamentally changed how private security organizations think about risk, in your opinion?
It's make it more systematic and more, how to say, more advanced with the technologies, with the gathering information, with the quick passing the information from one agency to another, and again, changes the price-wise, because, for example, the security advisor before the open invasion, for example, cost per day about 1,000 euros. Right now, it's much more in the beginning of 2022, and right now it's much less in the middle of the 2026. So price-wise, it's also changing, and make it difference in general, how to say, market of the security professionals in Ukraine. A lot of foreign company come here. They don't want to register. They pull back. They just come here only for the 6 months without registration, don't pay the taxation, and just use an opportunity and get the cream of the crop. But some Ukrainian company just try to stand on their legs and do the assumption, but again, they run out of the personnel, they run out of the people and professional people who can speak English, who can present their duty and do something useful. So this is my opinion.
Okay, and same question to yourself, Natalia.
Well, I would say that the war has changed a lot of things regarding to security. And one small thing that I wish I saw more in different organizations in different countries is that they actually work on their plans, on their security risk assessments more. It's not just some compliance thing, it's just some actual thing. And what war has actually taught us is that geopolitical part is actually really important, because as I noticed in different countries, different organizations see their security plans as something as of more a compliance thing that they have to do. They have to just check the box and just do it and forget about it. And actually, we've had a lot of people on the trainings because we do a lot of safety and security trainings. And I remember when I asked some of the people, have you seen your contingency plans in your section? They said, yeah, well, we know those exist. We saw maybe some of them, but actually just 1 or 2 people out of 10 has actually read them. And this is the huge problem between like different countries. And this is actually the thing that we can teach different countries as well as from Ukraine, because war has showed us that those contingency plans are really important. And all of those plannings, risk assessments, geopolitical stuff that we have to encounter as well is actually what shapes our security right now in Ukraine. And I remember I asked this one small question to those people, who do you think those plans are for? Obviously, it's for you, for your staff, for your people. So you have to think about those, you have to work in those. So I think the war has changed our thoughts, our perspective on the security plans. It's not just like some small department that has to cover security. It's just not like, oh, there's like few people who talk about security in our company. No, it's actually important. And a lot of things can change. And as we noticed in 2022, half of the people I know never thought that this actually was going to happen. I remember one person was actually telling me that, well, there's no way this is going to happen. There's no chance this is going to actually be true. And well, here we are. So I would say that all the countries, all the other organizations, all of the different institutions have to keep in mind that security, especially in our times, is actually a crucial thing. And the war has changed it, has changed our perspective. I like to see that more organizations has actually put more effort into security of their people, of their staff, of their assets, of their beneficiaries, of their reputation even so. So I would say that war has changed a lot of things. And this is the things that other countries can actually learn a lot from Ukraine. Thank you.
Yeah, that's great. And it's almost going back to what Marcus was talking about cultures and behaviors and how the war has changed that and how we're now looking at risk in different ways now. And which is the reason we're here today, which is fantastic. I want to open the floor, but I've got one question for each of you. Okay, very, very quickly, very briefly. Rustam, we'll start. One piece of advice that you would give to somebody starting out in strategic risk management, very briefly.
Go over the interoperable soft
Hang on.
skills. Go
ahead,
over the interoperable soft skills frameworks. Learn them, know them, work them, live by them. That's your good starting point, because strategic risk management starts with flexibility, time management, leadership, showing up under pressure, being interoperable for technical solutions, being a data steward, being a data manager. And you're good to go starting there.
Thanks, Rustam. And Natalia.
Yeah, can I? Yes.
Yeah, go for
it. I would say that don't be scared, don't be afraid to step up, to do the things that you think you can do. If you can't do something, just go ahead, ask some questions. This is a really complex field, and I certainly believe that there's a lot of different skills that people can use into those security sectors and areas. We have a lot of analysts, we have a lot of planners, we have a lot of people who work on risk assessment, we have a lot of people who train people. So this is a really a huge field for everybody to participate in. And I would say that anybody who's starting into this field should not be afraid to step up and not be afraid to use their thoughts, their opinions, and actually do a lot of new stuff that hasn't actually been before. So don't be afraid to show your opinions, to participate in everything that you can, to talk about all of those things, and just go ahead and go for it. And once again, remember that you have your own experience. Because I remember once I was in a room with people who had more years of experience than I have years of my life. And they said, well, yeah, but you have also like your experience. Even if you've been to one of the sectors for like 1 month, it's still your specific experience. No one has lived this experience before. So you have the floor, you have your opportunity, and you have some things to say, and you should say them. So I would say, don't be afraid to step up and show your experience.
Thanks. And very, very quickly, before we open the floor up, one piece of advice you give people for strategic risk management who are starting out?
Just believe in yourself, learn from any sources what you can do, and just, believe opportunities coming every day. You just need to recognize them and just use it for only your purpose. And again, stay safe. So in Ukraine, it's illegal to have a knife. So start with a small security to just have your pocket knife.
Excellent. Thanks a lot, Henry. Okay, great. I think you all give us a round of applause for all of our speakers and panelists. Yeah. I am aware we've slightly run over. Okay, but I would like to open up the floor. If there's any questions online, Vlad, if you can have a look as well. We got any questions in the room for our panelists? Steve, how you doing, mate?
We're talking about a lot of strategic risk management. Everybody's got an opinion. There's 50 people in the room. Everybody's got an idea about risk, threats, and everything else. But how do we define this? The question is, I would like to hear from the 4 people, the 3 people here, as well as the one online. How do they actually define threats and risk?
Okay.
And
So,
strategy and anything else. We're just talking risk and threats. How do they actually define that?
okay, who'd like to take that? Yeah. Rishadin, you there? Oh,
Yes, I am there, and I do understand that the question is about a definition, but could you please repeat?
Hang on, Rishadin. We'll start with Rishadin.
Could you please repeat the concise portion of the question, because I had very much trouble hearing it.
I got it. So
yeah.
Basically, the question is, how do you define threat and risk?
Oh, okay. You take your SWOT structure, strengths, weaknesses, threats, opportunities. You take the threat and you take the weakness and you look in between and you identify the bottleneck. That's your risk.
Very simple. Anybody else like to take this question? How would you like? We're going to need to give you the mic if you want to. Yeah.
Okay, you can use SWOT analysis, but basically you've got to get back to the core of who you are and what you're doing. And that core tells you, what is it that's going to trash my life?
Right.
What is it that's going to ruin everything that I want to do? And then that's somewhere in there lies the risk. And how do I then deal with that? Because it's the dealing with it that is the most difficult bit. But also within the positive parts, there is also risk, because you can go down the positive. This is really good. I'm going to do this. This works. You go down that line and you forget everything else. And then something bites you in the bum hard because you're not looking at it. So you've got to sit down and be really, really hard-nosed about where you're going and what you want to pull up. What will stop me doing this? And the big thing for most people in this room is they're not strategic. They're actually working at a lower level than strategy. They're working at the base level. And David talked about change. Most people cannot do strategic change. I've been working in this country since 2010. And strategic change is nearly impossible because of the complexity of the culture, of the Soviet culture. But what you can do is take the approach of cotton, which is when you wrap cotton round someone, if you wrap it round once, you can break it. You wrap it round 10 times, it's difficult, it hurts your arms. If you wrap it round 100 times, they cannot break it. So every person in this room, and I point at someone who's doing it successfully, can take one part, one thing, and wrap that cotton round consistently until you win that. And that then reduces that risk because you've actually taken out of the equation something that is going to trash your life. So you've got to identify that what's going to trash your life, and then you've got to bite it. That's the risk, yes, for most people. That's the risk.
Thank you. No, it's a really good insight there, and I think this is the point why we're here today as well. And I think you hit on the point there of culture, okay, and the change. And I think the people who've joined the Institute already recognize that, okay, and this is why they've joined, okay. And the whole purpose of the Institute here is how do we now professionalize and how do we grow that culture within Ukraine, okay. And I think we start here with some of these young professionals that we have on the board, on the platform here, who've stood up to come up and talk tonight. I think not very easy to do, and the older professionals as well as our academics and Dr. Rubins under the guidance of the Institute itself. So I think is really, really important, and it's a great point there. Okay, but not to labour on. I think everyone can agree that tonight's discussions have shown that although our sectors have different missions and different crews, I think we have the same challenges: understanding uncertainty, which we talked about tonight, making informed decisions. Okay, we've talked about culture, we talked about behaviour, we talked about being able to make decisions under pressure. Okay, all of those things are part of it. And again, the comments that we've just heard as well. So I just wanted to finish off to say thank you for everybody who's come out tonight. I'd like to thank very much all of our panelists and our speakers, Dr. Rubins online, and I think Marcus has left us as well. I'd like to thank all of the advisory group who have been formed, plus some of our INSO staff who have actually taken time out and volunteered to come and support with the logistics tonight as well. And I hope that this is the start, okay? I really hope this is the start, and I hope that all of you can take something away from this tonight, okay? And really think, okay, there's maybe something there, okay? It may be brand new to you, okay? It may be something that you're well averse with, something that you may need to change, okay? But I think it's really important that you take something away from it and know that we are here and that we want to grow, and we want to grow our professionals as well, and we want to improve the professionalism of strategic risk management in Ukraine as a whole. Dr. Rubins, maybe you wanted to come into some closing words.
I'm just surprised, Ian. The question was asked, what should people do? What are the advice would you give to anybody coming into this sector? And my expectation was that as a chair of the Ukrainian chapter of the Institute of Strategic Risk Management, you would have said, buy Dr. Rubin's book on strategic risk management, which is available on Amazon. And for some reason, you just missed that, but that's okay. That's fine. Maybe we can, that's. Besides that, Ian, I think it was a fantastic event. It's brilliant. It's always good when you're in the room and you go, you know what? This works. This works. And a lot of the times, I think all of us spend times in rooms when we don't have that feeling. When you think, seriously, I've spent 2 hours here. My God, this is something that is real. It's growing. It is vibrant. It is just good. It is good. And I'm delighted that we have this community here. I'm delighted that everybody feels part of that. And I'm very, very much looking forward to seeing what we can all do together. So thank you to everybody. Thank you to the team. Thank you to everybody who's given us support. And here's to great things in the future.
Thank you, Dave, very much. Okay. So thanks. I'd like, guys, everyone, please just give yourselves a round of applause. Thank you. Yeah. We're going to have an opportunity now to network. I want to bring it to a close, and it's 9:15 now, and I know there's hands up around the room, but very quickly.
If anybody wants to commit to support any part of what we're doing here, any part that if there'll be academics or whatever else, please let us know. Please let us know that you want to get involved.
So thanks online. That was Peter just talking about getting support. Anyone support, reach out to us. So guys, I mean, around the room, you'll see there are QR codes. Andre has some leaflets. Please take the code, get in touch, join the WhatsApp group just to find out where the information is coming out. Look out on our website, look out on LinkedIn. Okay, there'll be more events coming up. If you've got ideas that you think, you'd like to bring forward or like to introduce, please come and grab one of us and talk to us. But apart from that, guys, let's grab some drinks, socialize, network, and enjoy the rest of the evening. Thank you very much. Well done.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Bye-bye.
Thanks to everybody. Great.
Thank you, everybody online. Awesome.
See you
Thank
soon.
you. Stay
Thank
safe,
you.
everyone.
Have a great evening.
Yeah.
Maxine, thank you.
Enjoy. Great pleasure, great privilege.